So, Matty, it's been a little bit of a busy time for you, I suspect, over the last couple of weeks. Picked up a few injuries. It's always good, I suppose, to keep you busy, but also not so great to have players out of the team. How have you been finding it a little bit these past few weeks?
Yeah, obviously we started off with a little bit of a tough period. The unknown for us against a couple of amateur teams, and then a game at Featherstone on a muddy field. So yeah, we've picked up a few over these last few weeks. Unfortunate, but we've got a squad to be able to handle that.
Yeah, a lot of people will probably be remembering probably the newest injury that we've picked up. Unfortunately, one in that early on in that Hunslet game with Toby Boothroyd having to go off pretty early on in that one. Any update on Toby? How's his shoulder? How's it looking?
Yeah, he unfortunately in the first few minutes ruptured his AC joint ligaments in his shoulder. So he's in as we speak now with a specialist getting a review to see whether he needs surgery or not. There's a fair possibility that he will. If he does, it'll be a few months out. If he doesn't, it may settle a little bit quicker than that, and sometimes with these injuries they don't operate.
Yeah, which is a tough one for Toby. We're really sort of hitting his straps, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's picked up a couple of bits as Toby in pre-season. Feel really sorry for him because he has trained really well. But again, it's part of the game.
It is. One that people might have heard about in the grapevine, and obviously we've not seen him in the last couple of weeks. Jerry McGilvery picked up an injury over at Siddle. What's the update on Jerry?
Again, just a really unfortunate one. Jerry landed on his arm after passing the ball back inside and ended up pulling a bit of his tricep muscle off the bone, off his elbow. He's had that fixed already. He's just at home letting everything settle down at the minute, but he's got a 3-month rehab period, so we can get him back hopefully the end of May.
Which isn't too bad. At least he'll get the sort of back end of the season to.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Jerry were really disappointed with the injury. He again missed quite a bit of rugby last year. He's had a great pre-season. He was raring to go. It's just an unfortunate injury that you pick up in this sport, but he's got his head round it now because it is his last year and he just wants to finish with a bang. So we'll get him back for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, a couple of guys we haven't seen so far this season and have been out since pre-season and since probably a bit longer for some of these guys. Liam Kay, Luke Bain, how are those guys progressing?
Liam's well into his rehab. He's close to running. Unfortunately, he ruptured his ankle ligaments in a training session, stood on Mason Leno's foot, and ruptured his what we call lateral ankle ligaments that needed fixing. And again, he's a sort of a 3-month rehab period, but like I say, he's near to running. And then Luke Bain, he obviously ruptured his Achilles tendon playing over in Australia. We signed him knowing that his recovery and rehab period would be anywhere between 9 months to a year with these injuries. And just the transition of Luke coming over here as well, we thought it important that we give him the longest possible road to recover we could, and he's on track. He won't be far off. We had the March game around the Bradford game as his return, and he won't be far off that. Maybe a couple of weeks after. He just needs a lot of adjusting to the field and everything here at the minute. But yeah, he's moving really well at the minute.
Yeah, another guy that we've not seen anything of this since pre-season is Isaac Shaw. I know he's had a off-season surgery. Just tell us a little bit about where he's at the moment. Yeah,
I mean Isaac's had some trouble with this for quite a while, and so we had to look at it a little bit differently when we came in, and we've ended up picking up an hernia that needed repairing, and it's not a long-term thing. Unfortunately, last year Isaac had gone down the road of looking at something different from the medical staff last year. And so he's fixed now, and he'll be back on the field probably within a couple of weeks. He's running now, but he'll be back in training within a couple of weeks. But because he's missed so much, he'll need a little mini pre-season to get himself up to speed, performance-wise.
Yeah, we've got a couple of other niggly injuries that we've maybe picked up over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, Ian Thornley pulled out of the Newcastle game over at Featherstone in the pre-match warm-up. How's his calf coming along?
Yeah, no warning sign in that, and we could possibly put it down to the field. He'd not done overs that week or anything. He wasn't put under too much pressure, so that was just one of them what you're scratching your head about, really. But yeah, he's coming on fine. He's nearly a couple of weeks into his rehab, and he may miss another few weeks. Just making sure we get him right.
Matty Crowther kind of picked up probably a little injury right at the death of that game. It seemed to twist a little bit, and I know you were called into action in those dying minutes of that game. How's his progression going? I noticed he wasn't in full training but still running.
Yeah, he's been a little bit sore. He's tweaked one of his ligaments in his ankle again. An unfortunate just twist in the tackle. He's back running today. He's done some agility work and stuff. So hopefully he's very, very close to being back to return. It's just how comfortable we feel putting him back into an actual game situation.
And then the final one on this list that seems to be ever growing at the moment, unfortunately, is Tommy Doyle. Obviously, we've not seen him for a couple of weeks. Any update on his recovery?
Yeah, Doyley's done an AC joint. Obviously, not as bad as Boothroyd, but he just tweaked his AC joint. But also, we've found out that he's got a slight avulsion in one of his ligaments, which means it's almost like a low-grade fracture that it pulls some bone off. So, but minimal. He's coming on really well at the minute. He's lifting weights and that again. And again, it's just when we feel he's ready for a contact session before he goes throwing back into rugby.
So a few of these guys, are you erring on the side of caution with it being so early in the season?
Yeah, it's been so difficult to gauge after playing, with no disrespect, the lower league teams, and it's something that I've never been used to and never seen before. The high scoring games obviously pose different threats to performance, staff and stuff that we've not been used to. So yeah, we almost are erring on the side of caution, but on the flip side, the squad's not massive, so we've been using a few youngsters. It's a great opportunity for them. But yeah, I suppose err aside of caution, but also we're coming into a few really important games at the minute. 1895 Cup we want to do well in, and then we've got Featherstone twice in the next 4 weeks, and then a Bradford in between. So got some big games coming up, and we want those best players out there.
Well, thank you for the update.
Thank you, mate.